Hiya, I'm Claudia and you are watching another Hindsight video where we get to talk about previously released stuff. This time it's all about Black Sabbath's self-titled debut album. This album saw the start of what is known as heavy metal. Appropriately, the album was released on Friday the 13th of February of 1970. The album artwork in itself is very dark, eerie. This is an amazing start for the band. The lyrics that they wrote, although they were quite poetic, they were not very fitting to the tempo, rhythm, and instrumentals of the actual music. So a lot of the times you had Ozzy kind of trying to fit it in. It feels a bit awkward. It's that unfitting yet fitting part that, where Ozzy is wailing, "Oh God, please no!" Because it doesn't really fit with the music. But somehow, actually, that makes it really iconic. That's why Black Sabbath is such an iconic song. Black Sabbath is so amazing. It's probably the song that shadows every other song on the album. You've got the lyrics, you've got Ozzy's wailing, Iommi's really deeply haunting riffs, Ward's rhythm section along with Butler's metallic bass lines, and that acceleration near the end of the song is absolutely priceless. I mean, first of all, you don't really expect it, but it just happens. And that's the best part. That right there is when heavy metal was born. A little thing about the riff in the song Black Sabbath. A lot of people think that the riff was centered around the blues, that type of stuff that was going around in the era. But believe it or not, it was not centered around that. Basically, and I'm gonna demonstrate this to you guys with my acoustic, not really a good idea when you're doing something on Black Sabbath, but whatever. The riff, which I suppose is this, is actually based on the interval of a tritone, I think you say it, tritone, commonly known as the Devil's Interval. Obviously, in the medieval ages, we had religious freaks who were disturbed by the sound of this demonic riff. This interval completely violates musical conventions. That is to say, it makes the listener feel violated. This dissonant type of sounding makes it feel devilish, and in the medieval times how they were with the plague and everything. They didn't even take showers, those dirty bastards. So in the medieval ages, this was banned because they thought that it would summon the devil. Of course, I've played this type of inspired type of tritone, interval of a tritone, plenty of times, and I do have to tell you, I am very disappointed because there ain't no devil around here. Black Sabbath would downtune their instruments, so that would give it a more eerie sound. Ozzy's vocals on this album are really not his best. In fact, they're probably his worst. To some extent, it's good, especially in the song Black Sabbath. His best are probably in albums like Master of Reality and other later albums. I quite like the song The Wizard. A bit uneasy about it when the harmonica kicks in. I'm like, oh no, they're gonna pull a Bob Dylan over here. They don't pull a Bob Dylan, thank God. And as soon as the instruments kick in, it sounds good. NIB, or as I call it, nib, is sexy. Okay, it starts off with this bass solo that is literally one of the best bass solos ever. Then that guitar just kicks in, and it's like a beautiful guitar solo, guitar everything. This is probably one of the best guitar solos that Iommi has ever done. And that escalation between Ozzy's vocals and the rhythm section that leads to that beautiful guitar solo. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful moment in musical history. Evil Woman, Don't Play Your Games With Me. That's a really bluesy song. It's very riffy and I love it, but it's too bluesy and I feel like not too into it. The grit of it all is in Ozzy's vocals, and his vocals are essentially what make the song heavy. His voice is not as blues or as quintessential blue as you'd expect for that time. Behind the Wall of Sleep feels a bit generic from my point of view, and that's because of the intro. I don't really like it. I mean, come on, I've seen better Sabbath intros, okay? I really love the song Sleeping Village. It feels like a really nice ballad. A bit Woodstocky, I suppose, but sinister Woodstock. And the breakdown on the guitar that happens later on is even more sinister. The thing I love about the song Warning is the prolonged guitar solo, but even that gets a bit annoying at times. But other than that, I don't know, it just kind of passes me by this song. Also, the same with Wicked World. It's dark and it's sexy, but it does escalate itself to this really cool, like, heaviness. Got like Iommi again, pulling like being Mr. Too Cool For You with his prolonged guitar solos. But anyway, it's all overshadowed by Black Sabbath and NIB, or NIB. The production quality on this album is not too good, to be honest. I've seen better. I prefer the production quality on Master of Reality, probably. Apparently the album cost 600 quid to make and took 2 days to produce. So from that you can guess what the quality is gonna be like. I do wish that the songs were tighter. I really do. But of course this was during the times of psychedelic and the songs were like 6-10 minutes long. Some people say that this is probably the best heavy metal album there is out there. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, it ain't. I've seen way better Black Sabbath albums than this one. Now musically, this album was innovative, especially with basically the song Black Sabbath. That song was the song that said it all. But when you get past that, there's not much. Just a bunch of blues with a lot of overdrive on the guitar. Like, for example, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, Hello. That album is like heaps better than this album. It's exceptionally heavy because I usually find myself headbanging to that one and not even headbanging to this one at all. The late 60s, early 70s were not a headbanging type of time. You know, but out of the emerging metal bands out there, Sabbath were the heaviest. I mean, there was Led Zeppelin and there was Blue Cheer, but Sabbath, they were out of the three the heaviest. And also very intelligent of them to slow down the pace of their songs. It made it even more sinister. It definitely does sound doomier in that manner. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, don't be scared to follow me on Twitter at itsclaudia123, and also make sure to follow me on Instagram at multi.vibe. See you next time. Until then, try summoning the devil with your guitars.